Hey guys, welcome back to another recap video. This story is about how one day an adult man after waking turns into a cute kawaii girl, and like any man, Woody decides to peek his crown jewels, which were no longer there. It turns out that his younger sister spiked his drink and wanted to see the results of her experiment. Now he who is now she must live like a girl until the drug wears off. Will he explore the life of a girl, or will he be naughty in his way? Keep watching to know what becomes of this man trapped inside a girl's body. The story begins, and we see a room that is all messy. An alarm rings that breaks the quietness in the room. A young girl wakes up and reaches for her tablet, only to realize that her hands are significantly smaller than before. Confusion sets in as she reflects on this odd sensation, prompting her to get up from bed. As she activates the tablet's camera, she is taken aback to see the reflection of a little girl staring back at her. A wave of disbelief washes over her as she questions the drastic change she's undergone overnight. She's come to terms with transitioning from a fully grown adult to a girl, despite her previous interests in eroge and harem anime. To confirm the surreal transformation, the girl, named Mahiro, checks her crown jewels. However, her privacy is short-lived, as her younger sister Mihari, who fancies herself a scientist, enters the room, causing Mahiro's shorts to fall. In this awkward situation, Mahiro is at a loss for words, but her sister proceeds to embrace her and conduct a barrage of measurements and data collection. This leaves Mahiro flustered, and she begins to wonder. Observing a nearby cola, Mahiro voices her suspicion that Mihari might have tampered with her drink. Mihari confirms that she did drug her beverage, sparking Mahiro's inquiry into her sister's motives. She presses Mihari about her perception of him as an older brother, to which she brands him as an introverted homebody engrossed in eroge games, which makes Mahiro feel sad about himself. Mihari tells her to venture outside and earn a living, prompting a shocked gasp from Mahiro. She questions whether Mihari turned her into a girl to exploit her body for financial gain. Mihari rebuffs this notion and tells her that to ensure proper testing of her experiment, Mahiro needs to have a proper plan. Despite this, Mahiro casually resumes her routine of watching eroge anime and playing games. However, Mihari's cunning plans unfold further as she informs Mahiro that girls experience heightened pleasure, and watching such content in her current state could lead to her mind exploding. Faced with this peculiar dilemma, Mahiro reluctantly indulges in her entertainment to preserve her well-being. As time passes, Mahiro finds herself adapting to her new reality. Basic tasks, such as using the restroom and lounging on the bed, take on different nuances in her changed body. Unbeknownst to her, Mihari watches her every move via camera. Regular check-ins from Mihari continue, with her advising Mahiro to take a bath due to her smell. In the midst of the bath, Mahiro reflects on her gradual acceptance of her transformed self. She finds comfort in the mirror's reflection, acknowledging her new identity as if it were always a part of her. However, the hesitance returns when it comes to choosing the girly clothes, which makes her feel uncertain. Mihari's reassurance and compliment of her cuteness boost Mahiro's confidence. She imparts advice on punctuality and dietary habits, hinting at future trials of her experiment if Mahiro does not adhere to her guidance. Thus, Mahiro navigates the uncharted waters of her new existence, propelled by a mixture of curiosity, awkwardness, and sibling dynamics. The next day, while checking up on Mahiro, Mihari asks why she feels down, and Mahiro explains that she fell for a boy love game and became too excited. Mihari thinks that they need to change the environment and decides to take her outside for a jog. Mahiro does not like that idea one bit and is still dragged outside. As they run, Mahiro remembers how her younger sister was always the center of attention, from athletics to academics. She would excel at everything, and due to that, he secluded himself into his room all the time. Later on, Mahiro tells Mihari that her chest hurts, so they go to get a bra. Mahiro is hesitant and feels that she is going crazy. After a tiring day, Mihari wants to take a bath, but hot water is gone, so she goes to ask Mahiro, who explains that this turned into her favor since she did not want to take a bath. But in the end, Mihari takes her to a public bathhouse where they take a bath. Mihari washes Mahiro's back and hair, but soon after, Mahiro goes out and drinks a cold chocolate to relax after the hot bath. She sees some siblings running and remembers how he used to clean Mihari's hair as well. While returning, Mahiro calls Mihari Onichan, which makes Mihari blush and feel like a big sister. The next day, after having a hearty breakfast, Mahiro goes to her room and checks out her hair and decides to play with and styles her hair, but instantly regrets it as she is a boy and is not finding such things cute. Just then, Mihari enters the room and requests that they should document what they do, so Mahiro shows off the different hairstyles that she can do. This keeps on going for hours, and Mahiro finally faints from exhaustion. Mahiro then dares Mihari to dress up as well, and when she does, she decides to show off the dress to Mihario, who is preoccupied playing games, so Mihari kicks him. Mihari then teases Mahiro that she has become used to this body, since she is sitting just like a girl would, which frustrates Mahiro, who says that this body just naturally comes to her. This fires up Mahiro, who says that she has enough of this feminine stuff and will channel his inner Chad masculine side, but this dies down as she has never been masculine even when she was a boy. She tries to channel her inner boy but fails after trying various activities. Mihari advises her that she needs to set up a routine. They are talking when Mahiro suddenly feels weird and then lays down. Mihari asks what her symptoms are and if there was any side effect due to the drug. She keeps thinking, and just then she tries to explain to Mahiro that she has gotten her period. But before she could listen to anything, Mahiro went to the bathroom. When she sits and notices blood, she thinks that her life is done for, and that now she has nothing to live for since her time has come. After enduring through the pain, Mahiro comforts Mihari, since she has to go through this every month, which embarrasses her, and Mahiro ends up getting pummeled by a pillow. The next day, Mahiro walks in on a girl using the bathroom. Mihari, after getting ready, sees that her friend Kaidi from middle school came over to visit and ends up playing with Mahiro, but she does not feel comfortable at all. Kaidi asks why she never mentioned Mahiro, but Mihari covers it up, saying that it's just some family stuff. Mihari leaves Mahiro and Kaidi alone as she needs to get her college paper done. Meanwhile, Kaidi asks Mahiro about her hobbies, and she replies that loves reading manga and playing video games. Just then, they hear a rumble from Mahiro's stomach. Kaidi laughs and goes to prepare a meal for her. She makes fried rice, which Mahiro enjoys. Later, Mahiro thinks that Kaidi is a really caring and mature person, but this soon breaks down as Kaidi starts approaching her with her big bosom. Mahiro is super scared and thinks that his head is going to explode and his virginity will be taken, but Kaidi only wanted to apply makeup. Mahiro feels stupid for thinking that she was about to do something lewd. As Kaidi leaves, Mahiro thinks that she is the perfect big sister and tells Mihari to learn from Kaidi. Later on, Mahiro sees a movie trailer of her favorite series, but thinks that she can wait until the Blu-ray version gets out since she cannot go out. Mihari, on the other hand, suggests that they should go out and watch it in the cinema. This idea baffles Mahiro, who is shy to go outside. Eventually, they go to the mall to watch the movie, but before the movie starts, they decide to do some shopping as Kaidi joins them as well. As they got various shops, Mahiro is stuck trying on various things. Just when Mahiro is taking a breather and drinking her boba tea, Kaidi rushes over and reminds them that they need to get some bikinis as well. Kaidi tries out some suits which make her bosom even more prominent. Mihari tries some as well, but Mahiro has no reaction, so as revenge, Mihari makes her try some suits as well, which leads to many embarrassing poses and cute suits. As they are shopping, they totally forget about the time and make it just when the movie is about to start. Just as the movie was getting better, Mahiro couldn't control herself and had to go to the bathroom. She rushes out, but there is a huge line, so she ends up wetting herself. But Kaidi comes to the rescue and buys her a new pair so that she can easily sit. The next day, Mahiro is waiting for lunch and decides to confront Mihari as to why lunch is late. But as she enters her room, she learns that Mihari is super sick and thinks maybe she is on her period as well. Mihari yells that she is sick. Mahiro has a moment of self-reflection and thinks that since Mihari does all the work, she will try to take care of her. Mahiro cleaned the clothes in the room. She asks Kaide hot to cook porridge and makes some for Mihari. After eating some, Mihari cries, saying that even though the rice was bland, she felt happy that Mahiro was taking good care of her. Mihari remembers how in her school days, her big brother gave her a hair clip for doing well on the test. When she wakes up, Mihari sees that Mahiro is by her bedside with bandages on her fingers. She is glad and decides to bake cookies for Mahiro. They sit and enjoy cookies, as Mihari thinks that they never used to talk like this before, and it's good. Mahiro watches her favorite anime and recreates one of her cute attacks, while Mihari watches and laughs. Mihari informs her that she will be staying over at school today due to her project, and Mahiro will need to make sure everything is set in the house. Mahiro is glad and tells her that she is a pro home security officer, so she does not need to worry. As Mihari leaves, she gives instructions to Mahiro so that she does not mess up the house. After Mihari had left, Mahiro quickly changed her clothes, as if she had felt freedom for the first time. She becomes sluggish and watches shows, and while making a mess around her. Later, she felt hungry and ordered a pizza, a bunch of sandwiches, and other snacks as well. But after a few bites, she gets full and becomes sad since Mihari is not here. In the morning, Mihari comes back and searches for Mihari, who is locked up in her room. As she fixes Mahiro's hair, Mahiro hugs her as she had missed her deeply. Later on, they seem to be doing something that sounds a bit too naughty, but they are just playing sumo on their console. Mahiro loses, and as per their bet, she has to go to the supermarket to fetch the groceries. On her way, she feels awkward roaming around and can't muster up the courage to enter the market. Just then, the young boy notices this and dubs her weird behavior as illness. He checks if Mahiro has a fever or not. He tells her that if she needs a helping hand, then he will be glad to assist him. As they are walking, he asks for the list of things she needs, and they go around gathering all the things they need. Some even label them as a couple. As they head out, Mahiro thanks him, and just when they are about to leave, Kaede approaches them. And it turns out Momiji is in fact Kaide's younger sister. This shocks Mahiro, as she thought Momiji was a boy. But since she was dressed as a tomboy, she misunderstood. Later at the dinner table, Mahiro talks about Momiji, which shocks Mihari, who thinks maybe Mahiro likes younger girls, which is wrong since he is an adult. The next day, Kaede and Momiji visit Mihari and Mahiro. As Momiji is wearing a skirt, so she is not able to recognize her. Kaede suggests that Mahiro take Momiji to her room, so Mahiro quickly cleans up her room to hide all the naughty stuff. Momiji checks out the room and sees all the cool stuff she has. Mahiro compliments how cute she looks, but Momiji says that Mahiro is 10 times cuter and ends up tickling her to death. In all this, Mahiro trips and falls, exposing all the eroge manga and figures, which shocks Momiji, who thinks that maybe Mahiro watches all this. Mahiro shifts the blame that her brother aka herself is the owner of these lewd mangas. She understands and fixes her room so that she can easily stay there. As Momiji cleans the room, they trip and fall in an awkward position. Hearing the crash, Kaede and Mihari run in, and they see the awkward position and start laughing. Soon they leave and head out. The next morning, Mahiro makes breakfast and is all set to go and buy her new game character posters, which were on sale near her home. She tells Mihari that she will have to pause her home security officer, which makes Mihari burst into tears, as she thinks that Mahiro has finally grown up. She sees her off as if she's going to war, and promises to treat her to a good lunch when she gets back home. At the store, Mihari, while looking at posters, sits down and thinks while many boys keep staring at her. She notices that she is sitting weird while wearing her skirt, and quickly sits straight. While going back, she notices an arcade and decides to go and have fun. She sees one of her old time games, but due to many boys she skips it. She then roams over to the photo booth section and heads over. She takes a few cute pics, but rushes out as some girls head over. Mahiro then goes to play the music rhythm game, but as she is playing, one of the store managers stops her and asks why she is not in school since she is so small. Mahiro gets scared and rushes home crying into Mihari's arms. Mihari thinks that she forgot. It is a school day and that such a thing would happen. But Mahiro says that the outside world is scary, and she won't go outside anymore. After a quick bath, Mihari fixes the split ends on Mohari's hair and tells her the benefits of healthy hair. She decides to take Mahiro for a haircut, and as she sits in the seat, she feels super shy, since the girl is getting super close to her. The salon lady keeps asking her lots of questions, but Mahiro's brain overloads. She then gets her hair foamed up and cleaned, which makes Mahiro think her decision that the salon is a good place. What makes her even more happy is when the salon lady washes her hair and her bosom covers Mahiro's face. After a long and hectic time at the salon, Mahiro fell asleep, but on waking up, she does not recognize herself. Sometime later, as Mahiro is watching her anime show, she hears a knock and rushes over to open the door. To her surprise, a zombified Mihari enters the room, which scares the living hell out of Mahiro. Mihari tells her that it's Halloween, so she should dress up as well since Kaede is having a Halloween party at her place. She decides to go and dresses up, which makes Kaede think she is adorable, and hugs her. But it turns out that there was no costume party, and that Mihari had just tricked her. As Kaede and Mihari cook, while Momiji and Mahiro go to Momiji's room. They talk, and Mahiro shares her thoughts that she really wanted to see Kaede in a costume. This makes her Momiji laugh since she knows that Kaede has a nice figure. Momiji shares her concerns regarding her bosom, and that as compared to others, her bosom is quite small. She asks Mahiro if she knows any remedy, and assures her that it's nothing weird, and she is only concerned. Just then, Kaede interrupts them, and they come and have dinner. Mahiro likes Kaede's food, and even compliments Mihari's food as well. Out of nowhere, Momiji asks about their older brother, which startles them. She just laughs as they question them about his well-being. Kaede adds that Mihari would always talk about her older brother in middle school, which makes her blush, and Mahiro is keen on listening to these facts. To ensure that Kata does not spill any more secrets, she changes the topic by suggesting a trip that they all should go on, which diverts everyone's attention. The next day, Mihari suggests that instead of sitting around and playing games, Mahiro should do something active. Just then the bell rings, and Momiji comes over with her friends. We see that Mahiro is at school giving an introduction to her class. She thinks about how she got into this situation, and we learn that a day before, Momiji takes Mahiro to buy some snacks, just like how Mahiro had planned. Momiji introduces everyone and they are excited to meet each other. As their ice creams are served, Momiji spoon feeds Mahiro until she can't eat anymore. This amuses her friend who loves how cute they are. On their way back home, they say their goodbyes. As Mahiro returns back, Mihari teases him on going to a girls' night. After taking a bath, Mahiro sees only a uniform to wear, and it turns out that her sister wanted her to go to school from now on, since the drug is having long-lasting effects. Mihari tells her that, now since she has made friends, she needs to go to school, otherwise everyone will suspect them. So that's how Mahiro ends up in school. Everyone in class approaches her and calls her cute. Everyone welcomes her, but she is overwhelmed since all of them approach her. But just then, Momiji enters and tells all the girls that she will introduce Mahiro when she gets the time and should leave her as. All this is pressuring her. Mahiro feels safe since Momiji is here, who tells Mahiro that she knows that she was sick all this time and was not able to attend school. Mahiro thinks that Mihari must have set up that story for her as a cover-up. Her friends think that Mahiro is looking pale, so one of her friends gives her a hug to replenish her energy. At the end of the day, as they plan to go home, Mahiro feels the urge to go to the bathroom, and in a hurry rushes to the boys' bathroom and pees between two boys, which shocks them as well. Mahiro notices this, and quickly dashes out, leaving the boys flustered. They head home while Mahiro holds her pee, and as soon as they reach her home, she rushes in the bathroom and lets out a big one. The next day, Mahiro heads off to school again, but feels that her bag is heavier than usual. At school, Mahiro feels very tired and thinks that it's better to sleep. She sees that the boys are changing, so she decides to change in class as well, but forgot that she is a girl now, so she heads to the girls' locker room. Mahiro is stunned that all these girls are changing around her. Soon they head out to exercise, and Mahiro has never done such physical things before. She does not want to do anything, and makes excuses that she is feeling under the weather, and how her stomach hurts. One of her friends alerts the teachers, who tells her to sit this one out since she was not feeling well. Mahiro thinks that he saved her. At home, she explains to Mihari that girls can use periods as excuses as well. The next day, Momiji comes over and sees that Mahiro has completed all her work, even though she is a fully grown high schooler in a girl's body, so obviously she can finish some small math problems. As they head to school and it's exam day, Mahiro feels relaxed and thinks, since she knows everything already, she can easily pass the exam, so she decides to doze off. Time flies by and she forgets to do her exam. She thinks she can make a comeback, but alas, she fails each and every test. Her friends laugh about all this. Later during class, instead of learning, she decides to make up fake powers and stats for her character. She imagines her console game and wishes to play with it. Momiji thinks maybe she has an urge to go to the bathroom as well. During their recess, she explains that she was just excited about her game and wants to go and play her game. Her friends say that the game she is mentioning, only boys play it. Mahiro thinks about what girls play, and they all begin to tickle each other. After lunch, Mahiro sits on her desk and thinks about her game when she overhears two boys talking about the game. They are hesitant, but then ask her to join. They talk about the game and the day passes, and she is glad that she found friends to talk about the game. Later, while passing by the two boys, they instantly fall for her and think that Mahiro is super cool. In baking class, they learn that they have to work in groups and present their ideas and bake something. They all discuss, but Momiji tells her that not everyone here can bake, so they need to think of something. Mahiro thinks that they should not ask Mihari, since she will only cook up a monster with her science skills, so Momiji asks if they can ask Kaidi to help them bake. They go to Kaidi's place, and she decides to teach them her secret tricks. Later in class, they do their best and bake some delicious cookies, and they get super excited even though the teacher loves their dish. Upon returning home, Mahiro explains that she ate some cookies at home, but they were not as good as Mihari makes them, which makes Mihari blush and feel proud. It's now winter vacation, and Mahiro can't wait to slack off and do all the things that she had desired. She plays her game and has fun, but soon she gets bored. But just then, Momiji and the others join in and thank her for inviting her for the sleepover. They all sit down and play car racing games to their heart's content. Mihari feeds them, and then they decide to take a quick bath, but the girls want to join Mahiro for a bath so that they can wash her back. They start to quarrel, so Mahiro joins Mihari so that all of them stop fighting. As Mahiro steps out, the girls head in and talk about how they became friends in school. After the flashback, we see Mihari setting up the beds for the girls. They all join in, and Mahiro teases her for having such big bosoms. As the beds are set, the girls decide to battle and see who gets to sleep next to Mahiro. Just then the girls start a pillow fight and make so much noise that Mihari enters the room to tell them to keep it down. After the scolding, they decide to tell scary stories so that they don't die of boredom. They all start telling weird stories, and in the middle of the night Mahiro wakes up and sees that her comforter is gone. She tries to get it back, but is not able to. So she decides to sleep next to Momiji. As she approaches her, Momiji confuses her for a pillow monster due to the scary stories and ends up wetting the bed. Momiji asks where Mahiro will sleep now, and she ends up sleeping next to Mihari, and after waking up takes the blame for wetting the bed, so Momiji is not embarrassed. It's almost New Year's, and Mahiro finds out that Mihari is going on a date. She asks Momiji to investigate it, and they learn that it's only Kaide. Mahiro wants to go home, but Momiji persuades her to stay so that they can spy on them more. They end up following them to several places, getting snacks along the way. They reach a clothing store and decide to do some shipping themselves. Mario asks Momiji to wear a school skirt and then various fashion dresses. They end up getting caught by Kaide and Mihari, who also like how Momiji is all dressed up. Kaide tells them that they still have time, so they should go and have fun. So all of them go outside and watch the decorations and all the beautiful lights all around the city. Mahiro really enjoyed it, and upon returning home she asks Mihari why she lied about it being a real date. Mihari feels happy and asks if she was worried about her. She then wraps Mahiro with her scarf that she had bought for her. They wish each other a happy new year and head off to sleep. The next day Mihari takes Mahiro to the festival so that they can have fun, and even makes Mahiro wear a yukatas. Just then, Kaede and Momiji also join them. They take pictures and Kaede tells Mihari that she should have worn one too, but she shifts the attention by making them go and ask for blessing at the temple. They all get good wishes and they meet Asahi and Mio at the temple as well. They then go ahead and do even more activities like games, tricks, painting, and much more. All these activities make them super hungry. Kaede surprises them with a homemade sushi box with all the desired cuts. They all sit down and have fun eating the variety that Kaede had cooked. Mahiro especially enjoys the meal. Kaede then asks if they want to drink some amazaki, but it turns out Mihari got a little too drunk and starts falling for Mahiro, and then starts kissing Kaede as well. Asahi is having fun when Mihari shifts her gaze on her. After Mihari wakes up, Kaede bans alcohol for her, while Mahiro and Asahi look at her with intuitive thoughts as they head home. After New Year's, Mahiro heads to school in the cold and meets Kaede and Momiji. Mahiro asks Kaede if she is not feeling any cold since her legs are not covered, but she says the beauty lies in pain, to which Mahiro applauds her. Kaede is also excited to see that Mahiro is wearing the same scarf as well. They head to class, where Asahi thinks that they are dating since they have matching scarves. Mio says that she never gets cold and shows that he is not even wearing leggings. Mahiro also decides to show her leggings, but is cut short when she notices the boys looking at her, to which she yells at them. Mahiro thinks that she is getting more feminine as well, so she imagines having bare naked legs. But Asahi tells her that she might get a cold due to that, and that people get fat if they get too cold. Mio then says that maybe this is the reason why Asahi's bosom is so big, since it is all fats, and goes to fondle them. But Asahi screams. Later, Mario wakes up and sees that she is on Kaede's lap and gets knocked by her big G cup. Mahiro asks why she is here, and just then Mihari enters. Kaede, after seeing her, jumps back to studying, and it turns out that Kaede had come to ask help from Mihari for her test. Mahiro compliments her and asks why she is working so hard. Kaede tells her that she is saving money for girly things, and even wants to get a proper massage as well. Kaede ends up massaging Mihari, who keeps on laughing after being massaged. She does a full massage, which makes Mihari feel a bit too hot for comfort. Seeing this, Mahiro tries to slip past her, but Kaede grabs her and starts to massage her as well. Mahiro does feel better as her body is less stiff. Later in the morning, Mihari brings lots of chocolates for Mahiro and tells her that since it is Valentine's Day, she should spread them among her friends. So while going to school, she drags the giant chocolate bag, and just then Momiji and Asahi spot her. Momiji gives her a chocolate as a Valentine's gift, and even Kaede gives Mahiro some chocolate as well. Kaede embarrassed Momiji by telling that the chocolates are homemade, which makes Momiji blush a lot as well. At school, all of them give each other chocolates, and the rest of the class shares their chocolates as well. Mahiro thinks of an idea and gifts the rest of the girls as well, so that she can get chocolates from others as well. She then notices that the guys feel awkward on this day, so she heads over and gives a piece of chocolate to the guys as well, but as she is returning, the rest of the guys hoard over her, asking for chocolates like demons. While returning home, Mahiro looks over a banner that says that they should give their loved ones candy as well, so she decides to surprise Mihari as well. As she gets home, Mihari gives her a gift, and to Mihari's surprise, Mahiro also gives her some chocolate, which makes Mihari cry like a baby, thinking that her Oniichan cares for her as well. The next day, while searching for comics and games, Mahiro stops by the store and sees some of her schoolboys trying to sneak into the adult section, but they spot her and run away. Right then, Mio appears and asks Mahiro what she is doing near the adult section. Mio tells her that she is looking for Yuri-based novels, since she likes some girl-on-girl action. She even recommends a few books to Mahiro as well. They check both of them. Mio offers to buy Mahiro a crepe so that she stays quiet about her novel fantasies, and just as they are sharing a crepe, Momiji and Asahi scare them. They all decide to sit down and enjoy the crepe and have fun. Back at school, the boys try to clarify to Mahiro that they were just looking around in the store and did not have any intentions in going to the adult section. She tells them that she won't say anything and will show them a little something later on, to which they misunderstand and think maybe Mahiro will show her bosom to them, which makes their heads steam up. Mahiro at home looks at an astrology book to see her horoscope and thinks that it's fun. Mihari says that this is fake, and it's not true, that they are right. Mahiro decides to read Mihari's horoscope, but she stops her saying that she does not believe any of that, and starts giving a lecture. Mahiro shows her that on her horoscope it's written that she should be less talkative and make sure to create less arguments. This leaves Mihari questionable and decides to read Mahiro's horoscope, and they learn that she will get some surprise this week. At school, Momiji wears an eye patch, to which Mahiro says that she has gone over to the dark side, while Mio uses turret cards to assess what luck falls on others. Mahiro suggests that they should resemble themselves with animals according to their characteristics. They all label each other as various animals. Momiji then plans to surprise Mahiro and asks for her birthday so that she can set up a party, but it turns out that today is Mahiro's birthday. When she gets home, Mihari surprises her with a cake and decorations as well. Mahiro thinks that even though she is small, but in reality she is a full teenage boy who got turned into a girl. The next day at school, Mahiro asks the girls to walk home, but they all decline, and so Mahiro thinks maybe they are cooking up a surprise birthday party for her. Mahiro runs to Asahi trying to make her spill the beans, but Asahi runs away, leaving Mahiro alone. Mahiro decides to sleep in the next day and does not want to go outside, thinking that her friends are ignoring her. Just then, all the girls enter her room and give her a big surprise. They are all Mahiro gifts, and they decide to have fun. Asahi gives her an all-out ticket that can make them do anything they want. Mahiro asks Asahi to massage her shoulders, while the girls surprise her with a cake the Momiji had made. She then decides to feed the cake to Mahiro as well. Mahiro feels like a queen, having everyone look after her and feed her. Later, the girls are about to leave and remember to give her Kaide's gift as well, which was lipstick. The next day at school, Mahiro decides to wear lipstick, while Mihari watches her, thinking that she is becoming more feminine. While going to school, Kaede and Momiji notice that Mahiro looks more mature and that it's all thanks to lipstick. Kaede even tells her that she will give her a makeover as well. In class, everyone is amazed to see how glossy Mahiro's lips are. Mahiro walks as if she is a supermodel, making the girls think she is super classy and mature. Even the boys come over and hand her some chocolates. Mahiro tries to make them notice her lipstick and asks if that's all, but they misunderstand and head out. Mahiro gets called to the teacher's office, and she tells her that even though she looks pretty, makeup is not allowed in class, so she tells her that she should wipe it off. This feels tragic to Mahiro, and later in class her friends console her, telling that it's fine since she is super pretty. Meanwhile, the boys think that they should have bought Mahiro something more expensive. The next day, Mihari asks why Mahiro is not ready, and teases her for being scolded by the teacher. Mahiro accuses Mihari of wearing the same thing in and out, and decides to call the big guns. Mahiro calls Katie, who had been hiding behind the couch. She touches up Mihari, and then shifts towards Mahiro to give her a makeover as well. The girls go for a trip, and they finally reach their destination. They had planned a lot for this. As everyone gets ready, Mahiro feels something weird going on. In a flashback, we see that they all had decided to go on the trip at Kaide's place. Back in the present, they get to lodge and greet the owner. They see their room, which is super big. Momiji quickly changes to her kimono, and they all do the same so that they can head out to do some sightseeing. They enjoy themselves a lot, and after returning to the lodge, they decide to take a bath, since it was an open bathhouse. They all get ready while Mahiro feels that this will be awkward, since all of them will be naked. Kaede teases her by tickling her. In the hot spring, everyone talks around, while Mahiro looks away as she won't be able to control her feelings while seeing bosoms all around. Mahiro decides to sit somewhere else, so that her attention is diverted, but soon after, one by one, all the girls show up. And now Mahiro feels comfortable. In fact, so comfortable that she plays around as well. As they are having fun, Mahiro feels a tingly feeling and senses that she is returning back to normal. She rushes over to Mihari, showing that her crown jewels have returned. Mihari checks up on her, and they learn that the drug will wear off by morning. Mahiro feels sad that she will return to normal and starts to cry since she will miss all this. Mihari tells her that she did in fact bring the drug, which ruins the emotional moment that they were having. Mahiro is about to take the drug even though she will be stuck like a girl for a bit longer. But just then all the girls return, and they order food. They start eating while Mahiro is lost in thought. The time passes and they decide to go out for a small walk. Kaede and Mihari dress up while the others snowball fight each other. Mahiro feels all the love and wants to stay like this, but just then gets hit by a snowball, so she joins in on the fun as well. Mahiro thinks that all this has been a great experience and change for her since she was able to meet all of them. She musters up the courage and takes the drug, deciding that she is willing to stay like this a bit longer. Back at the lodge, as all of them decide to sleep, they talk a lot while Mahiro watches them. In the middle of the night, Momiji wakes up and sleepwalks over to Mahiro's bed and checks to see if she really has some crown jewels or not, but falls asleep on her bed. On their way back, they all doze off except Mahiro and Mihari, as they talk about how Mahiro has changed after changing into a girl, saying that instead of a selfless person, she has become a good friend as well. As the train reaches its destination, all of them wake up and see that both Mahiro and Mihari are asleep, holding hand in hand. All of them find this super cute. Maybe the drug did bring these two siblings together since they shared so many memories and made new ones as well. Well, that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.